All right, the top story today on Left, Right and Centre. All eyes are on the national capital. The Arvind Kejriwal government has called a special session of the Assembly on Monday to discuss the Central Bureau of Investigation summons to the Chief Minister in the liquor policy case. Mr. Kejriwal's deputy, Manish Sisodia, is already in jail for alleged corruption in framing the liquor policy case, which was scrapped later. The Aam Aadmi Party government has alleged that the centre is weaponizing the CBI and the ED to go after opposition leaders with false cases. Mr. Kejriwal, who's been summoned by the CBI tomorrow, that is on Sunday morning, has threatened to file a case against both the CBI and the ED for alleged perjury by filing false affidavits in court. We will file appropriate cases against the CBI and the ED officials for perjury and for producing false evidence in courts, the Delhi Chief Minister tweeted today. Courts are being lied to. Those who have been arrested have been tortured, and there is not a shred of proof of any wrongdoing, the Delhi Chief Minister said today, a day after being summoned by the CBI in the capital's liquor policy case.
क्योंकि सच तो कुछ मिला नहीं, कुछ था ही नहीं, शराब घोटाला कुछ है ही नहीं, तो निकालें क्या? तो उन्होंने झूठ बोल के मनीष सिसोदिया को फंसाने की कोशिश की, कोर्ट को झूठ बोला, टॉर्चर कर करके, धमकियां दे दे के, मेंटली टॉर्चर करके, फिजिकली टॉर्चर करके, थर्ड डिग्री करके उनसे केजरीवाल का नाम ले लो, मनीष सिसोदिया का नाम ले लो, इनको फंसाओ, उनको किया जा रहा है।
जो भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ आंदोलन करने की बात करते थे, आज भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में डूबते हुए नजर आते हैं। श्रीमान अरविंद केजरीवाल की पूरी सरकार, एक के बाद दूसरा मंत्री जेल गया है। स्वास्थ्य मंत्री से लेके शराब मंत्री से लेके बाकियों तक, विधायकों से लेके पार्षद तक जेल में है और ये दुनिया को ज्ञान बांटते फिरते हैं। शराब घोटाले में दिल्ली में जो लूट हुई और लूट की खुली छूट अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के नाक के तले हुई, उनकी सहमति के साथ हुई।
देखिए, ये सब तो आप जानते ही न है कि क्या क्या काम लोगों के खिलाफ हो रहा है, लेकिन यहाँ तो बात बहुत ठीक है ना कि सब लोग पूरा अपने अपने इलाके के विकास के लिए कितना काम किया है, कितना ज्यादा प्रगति है, सब कितनी इज्जत है उनको। अब बाकी क्या होता है उस पर हम क्या बोले, वो तो अपने समय पर जवाब दे ही देंगे, सब कुछ वो अलग चीज है।
ये बात अब जग जाहिर हो चुकी है, शराब घोटाले के किंगपिन अगर कोई हैं तो वो आप ही हैं। कैबिनेट की बैठक की अध्यक्षता मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर आप कर रहे थे और आपने एक जीओएम का गठन किया। एक्सपर्ट कमेटी की रिपोर्ट का अध्ययन करने के बाद सिफारिश दे। इस जीओएम में एक्यूज नंबर 1 कट्टर बेईमान, जिनको आप कट्टर ईमानदार का सर्टिफिकेट दे रहे थे, वो थे। इनकी बेल नहीं हुई है। मनीष सिसोदिया की बात कर रहा हूं।
All right, so a day after he's summoned by the CBI in the Delhi excise policy case, the Chief Minister making a scathing attack on the Prime Minister, the BJP meanwhile calling the Delhi Chief Minister the kingpin of graft. So is this harassment or rule of the law? Is this vendetta politics or the law taking its own course? Joining us on Left, Right and Centre, we have Reena Gupta, advisor of the Delhi government, a national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, A.P. Singh, former director of the CBI, and Ashpreet Kadiyal, spokesperson of the Congress. Let's go across to you, Mr. Singh of the BJP first. So you have Mr. Kejriwal launching a blistering attack on the Prime Minister, a blistering attack on the BJP. He says these agencies are being misused, made to go through extraordinary lengths to basically target their fiercest political opponents. The timing of this summons, Mr. Singh, coming just days after AAP was announced as a national party.
Well, there's a saying in Hindi. There's a saying in Hindi which says "chor bajaye show." They're making all this noise because they know they are on a wrong foot. One. Secondly, this case is there almost more than a year now. I mean, why to correlate it with the Aadmi Party becoming a national party. Thirdly, what was the court observation in the last High Court hearing? Court categorically stated that Mr. Sisodia is the architect of the complete scam. And they also mentioned some amount of 90 crore rupees. This is the observation of the court, High Court in the last hearing. Thirdly, they could have gone to the court and could have got the cases quashed. And if they are on the right side of the subject, then they should have moved to the court. They should have asked the court to quash the case, but they didn't do so. They asked for the bail, and bail was denied by the court. So this categorically says, yes, the scam has happened. And for all policies which are laid or all policies which are changed and altered later on, Mr. Kejriwal is the CM, and nothing happens without his approval. He is the one who heads the cabinet. So if anything is happening in the cabinet, he is answerable for that. Now the questions are being asked. They need to answer those.
Okay. Reena Gupta, the BJP basically saying here, the fact is that Mr. Kejriwal heads the Delhi cabinet, under which the group of ministers that formulated this, what they are calling corrupt excise policy, was formed. So naturally they're saying, you know, he would at least have to be called in for questioning. Where does an arrest arise, as we're hearing from Mr. Kejriwal? But at least what would be wrong with him being questioned, since he was technically the man in charge?
Sarah, there's nothing wrong in him being questioned. He's going to go there tomorrow. But the conviction rate of Bharatiya Janata Party against Aam Aadmi Party leaders is zero. It's a big zero. In the last 9 or 10 years, they have filed 400, 500 false allegations, false cases against all of our leaders, and all of those have fallen flat. Not a single allegation has been proved in the court of law. Now the ringmaster of the Adani scam is desperate. The ringmaster of the Adani scam knows that the moment a JPC will be formed, all the truth about the Adani scam and how all the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party from top to bottom are involved. And this is a desperate attempt of a despot, the last ditch attempt to put all leaders behind bars, to literally put all leaders in gas chambers, because they are rattled, they are scared, that they have nothing to show for their 9 years of governing the country. The people are angry, and Arvind Kejriwal is the most prominent face of the opposition. And that is the reason he is being targeted, not because there is any scam. There has been no scam. They have not been able to show any money trail. They have not been able to show any quid pro quo. All they have is stories and allegations. Isne ye kaha, usne wo kaha. And now the witnesses have filed affidavit in court saying that they are being harassed. Their families are being threatened, that unless they name Sisodia and Kejriwal, their families' lives are under threat. One witness has come out and said that he's lost hearing in both his ears because he was beaten so much by ED. He was being forced to take Mr. Manish Sisodia's name. So all of this just shows us that the Bharatiya Janata Party is rattled with the rising popularity of Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal. They don't have a model to show as opposed to the good governance of Arvind Kejriwal, and that is the reason that these are.
Let's get RP Singh to respond. RP Singh, you know, I want you to respond to my question, sir. The same question that I put across to the Aam Aadmi Party. If I ask Reena Gupta what's wrong, why obviously the man in charge would be called in to be questioned and to be asked questions. Similarly, how can the BJP jump the gun and go ahead and say he's the kingpin of graft? We haven't got the agency saying that yet. Surely, if you are saying the law will take its own course, why let the law take its own course, sir? Why is the BJP jumping the gun?
Sarah, Mr. Satinder Jain is in jail from last more than 10 months. Has
but he's not convicted, is what Reena Gupta is pointing out. Where is the conviction?
Can I complete, please?
Sir, I asked you a question, you responded something else, so I'm correcting you. But go ahead.
I never knew that
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. The clock is ticking.
The actor, but never the anchor. But
Go
anyhow,
ahead,
the
sir.
issue
The
is,
clock is ticking.
please. So Sanjay Jain, the recent observation of the court on Sanjay Jain, that he was the one who was he was the one who rerouting the money. And it's not me, the court, with observation. I just now told you about the Mr. Sisodia. Please go through the last High Court bail application which they tried. And court is categorically saying that he is the architect
misleading
of
the court with all.
Reena Gupta, please let him finish. Reena Gupta, please let him finish.
I don't need,
Please
I
allow
don't
me
need
to
that.
rebut after he's finished.
Reena Gupta, please let him finish.
So, court has categorically stated that he is the architect of the complete scam, and court has mentioned some 90 crore rupees as amount also. So, if he is the architect of the scam, Mr. Sisodia, then obviously he is the minister in the cabinet. He is the deputy CM or the minister in the cabinet of the Mr. Kejriwal. And nothing can happen there without the consent of Mr. Kejriwal. Other thing, there are two letters on record of August 2022 of their officer, which is to the chief minister, which categorically says that there is a malpractice which is happening, that you are allotting the tenders to or the vents to the cartel. Give me a second, ma'am, now. To the cartels and to the blacklisted companies. It's not me, it's an official letter on record. I'm sending it to you. Please show to the viewers also. So, if that is the case, why didn't Mr. Kejriwal took action against that letter? So, his involvement is there. Thirdly, there's a guy named, give me a second, ma'am, please. There's a guy named Vijay Nair.
So there are two other panelists. There are two other panelists. So you need to make your point quickly. There is a format to this debate, Mr. Singh.
There's an Aam Aadmi Party office bearer. There's an Aam Aadmi Party office bearer named Vijay Nair, who was allotted the bungalow of Mr. Kailash Galot, the minister. Minister would not stay in the bungalow. It was allotted to Mr. Vijay Nair. And there are records now to prove that on a chat, CM have told to a businessman that Vijay Nair is the person whom you can deal with. So this is on record. It's not nothing me. And then ask them, why did they allot the official bungalow of the minister to Vijay Nair, who is behind bar, whose bail has been rejected by the court?
Okay, all right. I want to bring in our other panelists. We have AP Singh joining us, former director of the CBI. Mr. Singh, please step in over here. You have the BJP saying he's a kingpin of graft because he's the chief minister and he was overheading the cabinet at that point of time. The Aam Aadmi Party is pointing out, look, there are no convictions in this case. These cases drag on, and you have AAP leaders who've been locked away and put behind bars and are not getting bail. You please come in over here, because the image of the agency has been dragged through the mud, not just by AAP, by all opposition leaders who are now saying this agency is being completely misused by the government to take on the opposition or take down.
So, Sarah, first of all, I'd like to clarify to you that CBI does not do any physical torture. So, all these allegations that, witnesses are being tortured or accused of being physically tortured, this is absolutely false.
Absolutely. Once these allegations are made, the chief minister should back it up with actual proof, because these are serious allegations.
Interrogation. There could be sustained interrogation, but there would be no physical torture as such. That is absolutely not the CBI's system way of working. The other point that I cannot, I cannot discuss every case of CBI because I'm not in touch. But what I read, that in this case, certain irregularities have been pointed out, and they were pointed out by the Chief Secretary of the state. And that Chief Secretary's report was forwarded by the governor to the CBI. And CBI started an investigation. And it is a natural corollary of the investigation that Mr. Kejriwal also needs to be examined. Because as pointed out by others, he's the head of the cabinet. He is obviously in the picture. He knows about this, what this excise policy was. So there is, it is incumbent on the CBI to examine it. Now, when you examine an incumbent chief minister, normally you would go to his office with, some senior officer would go to his office and examine it there. But in this case, because you know that if a team of CBI officers goes anywhere near Chief Minister's residence or to his office, they will be geared out by a whole lot of AAP supporters. They've called him to the CBI building. But at this stage, there is nothing to get perturbed about. It is a natural, once there is an investigation, he's not an FIR accused, he's not being charge sheeted. They are just going to ask him certain questions.
Okay, so this is the natural order of things. This is par for the course. So it does not mean that the Delhi Chief Minister is the kingpin of graft. The CBI, the agency has not said that yet, correct?
Yes.
Which is what the BJP leaders have already gone to town announcing today.
This has to be part of the process. I mean, examining Mr. Kejriwal is something that is basic in this investigation.
Okay. Before I go back to Reena Gupta, Ashwit Kadiyal, you have Reena Gupta coming up today. We have Nitish Kumar speaking out in support of you. Will the Congress support the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi Chief Minister on this issue? Because the Congress seems to believe that the ED and the CBI and other agencies are misused when it comes to cases against Congress leaders, but they have not openly come out until now to say this is also the case when the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are targeted.
See, before we discuss the state government of Delhi, it's imperative that we talk a little about the center as well, because the Bharatiya Janata Party is accustomed to doing things in order to divert attention from themselves whenever, there's a revelation that's made against them. For example, the former governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Satyapal Malik Saab, made major revelations against the Bharatiya Janata Party's government that the 40 CRPF jawans that were martyred in Jammu and Kashmir could have been saved had they been given an aircraft, which the Home Ministry, he categorically said, denied. Had he been asked about it, had he been asked for the 5 aircrafts, he would have allowed for that.
All right. So my question to you, Mr. Kadiyal, do you agree that the cases against Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and other AAP leaders are false? This is the agencies being misused against AAP to divert, in this case, as you're pointing out, from this interview given by the former governor.
See, there are two things. One, we cannot say if somebody is innocent or not. That's for the court to see.
So
however,
either there's actually a case here, these agencies are correct, the BJP is right, that AAP is corrupt, there was something underfoot happening in the Delhi excise policy, or it's not.
Kindly allow me 30 seconds. Number one, like I said, we do not get to vet the evidence. We do not get to vet the challan. That is for the court to see. All we can tell you is the stats suggest that 95% of the cases registered by the central agencies is against opposition parties. The conviction rate is miserably low. The raids of ED, CBI, SEBI, IT have gone up. Under UP, it was 112 of the ED. Under the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's 3,000 plus. Under PMLA, since 2014 to 2023, only around 25 cases have been disposed of. Under PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, last but not the least. My question to the Bharatiya Janata Party's government is, why are you trying to divert attention from your own government? Because Mr. Satyapal Malik has made major revelations. Tell us one thing. Why did you refuse the aircraft? Because those 40 CRPF jawans could have been saved. And number two, why did you ask the governor, which is a constitutional post, to keep quiet when he said that it is our mistake, sir? And when he had a word with the government with a ruling, they said, no, you do not speak. You don't say a word about it.
All right.
We'll tell what the stance has to be. So please.
All right. The Congress has put out its statement. Jairam Ramesh has put out its statement on this matter. But I want to go back to the topic at hand. If I can go across to Ms. Shah. Reena Gupta, please respond to the fact that there are some very serious allegations made by the Delhi Chief Minister of AAP leaders being tortured at the hands of the CBI. If that is the case, surely there should be proof, because this is a very serious allegation and somebody in the CBI must be held accountable for this.
Sarah, so this is not an allegation. These are actually affidavits that have been filed in the court. These witnesses, there is a witness called Chandan Reddy. He's filed an affidavit saying that he was beaten so much, he's lost hearing in both his ears. Mr. Samir Mahendru, another witness, has said that his wife and his daughter were threatened, and he was made to take names of Manish Sisodia. These are all sworn witness affidavits filed in court. And that is the reason why the courts are not giving bail, because the CBI and ED are misguiding the courts. When you are giving false information to the courts, all the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party was screaming and saying Manish Sisodia destroyed 14 cell phones. It turns out of those 14 cell phones, 5 are actually in the custody of CBI and ED, and the rest of the cell phones are being used by and his help.
And
so,
as Aap has pointed out, if you're the Chief Minister or the Deputy Chief Minister, it's unlikely that you can just pass on your phones. They would have confidential material on it. I want to go on to RP Singh. Last one word, sir. Please respond to the fact that the many opposition leaders have cases filed against them. Many of them are fighting this out legally. Many of them are behind bars. But what is the conviction rate at the end of the day? While on the other hand, opposition leaders who were supposedly corrupt, once they've moved over to the BJP, all these cases have been dropped against them.
Well, first, let's ask Reena Gupta about Mr. Channi. Mr. Channi has been accusing the Punjab government of the same, that Vigilance Department of the Punjab government has been biased and has been victimizing the Channi, Mr. Channi in Congress. Mr. Kejriwal is also there. What he has to say about Mr. Channi? Is Mr. Channi on a right side or on a wrong side? You need to answer that.
Why don't you answer the question that has been asked?
Please, stop heckling.
Why are you not heading by JPC on the Adani
Let him finish. I'll come back to you. Reena Gupta, I'll come back to you for the last word. Let him finish.
You are caught on a wrong foot. So, have patience. I never interrupted you. So, other thing is very clear, and which has not been answered till now, that why Vijay Nair was allotted or given the bungalow of Mr. Kailash Galot. Why was he given the bungalow of Mr. Kailash Galot? What was Mr. Vijay Nair doing in Mr. Kailash Galot's bungalow? And what was happening? What deal was happening in Mr. Kailash Galot's bungalow, which Vijay Nair was occupant of? And also, why court has not given bail to any of them, Sundar Jain, Vijay Nair, and others? And if they have any proof otherwise that the witnesses have been taken under duress, then they could have gone to court and have the case quashed. They don't do so. Okay. And as for your answer, give me a second. As for your answer on what sort of rate it is, as far I know, CBI has almost 67% rate of the conviction, and also ED. The message is wrong. 25 cases.
Okay. I'm down to a minute and a half. So to Ms. Gupta, to you. So respond over here. The point Mr. Singh is raising is that you have Mr. Channi being questioned versus Arvind Kejriwal being questioned. So in one case it is vendetta, but in the other case it's the law taking its own course.
Sarah, my question to Mr. RP Singh is that he was raising some issue about somebody's bungalow. What was the Prime Minister doing sitting in Adani's plane? What is the relationship out there? When will the Prime Minister come out and
openly say, if I have to ask for the same thing, what is the issue of
please hold on. Mr. Singh, please let her finish.
Why is it that
RP Singh, please hold on, let her finish.
On Thiruvananthapuram guest house also in the social media.
Can I complete?
Mr. Singh, hold on.
Why is it when 18 opposition parties are asking for a JPC in the Adani scam, why is the Prime Minister not coming out and answering questions?
What is your scam, man?
Mr. Singh, please let her finish.
The moment,
Mr. Singh, you were allowed to speak.
Why are you running from the liquor scam?
You to put your speaker down.
Why are you running from the liquor scam?
Mr. Singh, you need to allow her to speak.
This is not fair.
Mr. Singh, you need to allow her to speak. This is not going to be allowed, certainly not on my show. But thank you both for joining us. Thank you all the panelists. We'll of course be covering this all day tomorrow. So we'll hear more from all sides as Arvind Kejriwal presents himself for questioning before the CBI.